Queen Elizabeth II was the longest reigning British monarch to date, having held the position since the 6th of February 1952. Elizabeth was born on the 21st of April 1926. She was married to Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, since 1947, and has 4 children: Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. Elizabeth was the 3rd child of Albert, Duke of York, later George VI, and Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. Before she was born, her mom and dad went out of their way to introduce her only to the choicest playmates. She grew up with a pony and learned to ride before she could walk. She had a tennis court in her backyard, a coach on every continent, and 3 private surf beaches ready on a moment's notice. Join Liber-Tea now to find out more about this amazing woman's life as we discover her years as the truest of reigning queens, not just in longevity, but also in achievements and controversy as well. Subscribe, like, share, and comment on this episode and others, and let us know your thoughts and opinions about this legendary historical figure. On the 6th of February, 1952, at the age of 25, Queen Elizabeth II was proclaimed Queen of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. She was also head of state for 15 other countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Jamaica. Amid widespread public celebrations among members of the royal family and the British people, she succeeded her father, King George VI, who had died earlier that year, after a long period of illness. It is believed that over 1 million people lined the streets of London to welcome her home from Kenya, where she had been staying since her father's death. When Elizabeth came to the throne in 1952, at age 25, following her father's death from cancer, it marked only the 2nd time in history that there had been 3 consecutive generations of queens reigning in England without interruption since 1399 to 1425. A few weeks after the Queen's coronation, in May 1965, she made the first visit by a reigning British monarch to West Germany. The trip was intended as a gesture of reconciliation towards Germany and was an important event leading to the end of hostilities between Britain and Germany, which had been antagonistic for decades following conflict over their conflicting colonial ambitions. Queen Elizabeth II came to the throne in 1952, but it was not until February 1974 that she made her first state visit to Australia as Queen. During this tour, she stayed in Canberra with the then Governor-General Sir Paul Hasluke and his wife. The Queen toured Canberra and States Houses, laid a wreath at the Australian War Memorial, and opened Parliament House. She also drove along the city streets in an open-top car where hundreds of well-wishers lined the route to catch a glimpse of the Queen waving to them from her car. Her official visit to Australia was only expected to last 6 days, but due to the Prime Minister, Edward Heath, calling a snap election for the month before, she had to return home earlier than planned. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh had the pleasure of announcing the marriage of their son Prince Charles to Lady Diana Spencer. They would live at Kensington Palace and Clarence House, and then on July 29, 1981, the future King Charles was married to Lady Diana Spencer at St. Paul's Cathedral. The wedding received worldwide attention, and there were millions of people watching it from all over the world. Later controversy surrounding the Queen's displeasure and coldness to Lady Diana, the people's princess, would put her in a dark light. Through no fault of Lady Diana, the media would be mostly responsible for such rumors and stories. The Queen stayed in seclusion for several days, during which time she is criticized by the press for her silence. Then, on the eve of Diana's funeral, and following a public outcry about what many perceived to be an insufficient show of respect towards and concern over Diana's death, the Queen does a walkabout outside Buckingham Palace to meet mourners and gives an address delivered directly from television screens inside people's homes, speaking as your queen and as a grandmother, and paying tribute to Diana. She was an exceptional and gifted human being, the Queen said. In good times and bad, she never lost her capacity to smile and laugh, nor to inspire others with her warmth and kindness. On the 13th of June, 1981, the Queen's horse Vermees was startled by gunshots and reared up. Marcus Sargent, then a 17-year-old air cadet from Folkestone, Kent, fired 8 blank shots at Queen Elizabeth II as she rode past in her carriage during the Trooping the Colour in London. He pleaded guilty under the 1842 Treason Act and was jailed for 5 years. The Queen was unhurt, but recalled later, "I remember it coming through here so violently. There were lots of people lying on the ground screaming." Sargent was sentenced to 5 years in prison for treason, although he claimed it was an accident. What do you think? The Queen's failed alleged assassination attempt in 1981 is a reminder of the necessity for security. The Queen, who had survived unscathed, was shot at point-blank range by Marcus Sargent, an unemployed youth and member of a militant extremist cell called the Angry Brigade. The shooting was part of a series of attacks on businessmen and public figures in London and Sussex during early 1971. But the Queen was not all about business. She was known to have a sense of humor and loved to laugh quite a bit. She even poked a bit of fun when she enjoyed her first acting role, a film of her opening the London Olympics and appearing to parachute into it with James Bond. It shows her emerging from Buckingham Palace with Daniel Craig, who plays 007, then being lifted off from the rear of his helicopter. On April 9, 2021, her beloved husband of over 70 years dies peacefully at their Windsor Castle home. And then Queen Elizabeth II passed away on the 8th of September 2022. Her Majesty was the longest reigning female monarch in history. With her death, she left behind a legacy and a life full of all the struggles that came with being a royal. There were many people who mourned the passing of this great woman, and she will be remembered by them for eternity, as well as by many others who have never met or seen Queen Elizabeth II face to face, but have read about her in history books or watched documentaries about her life. She leaves behind 4 children who all have significant roles within their own realms. Thank you for joining us for this Liber-Tea episode and an inside look at one of the most prominent figures in history. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share on this and other favorite episodes, and remember to let us know what other topics and figureheads in history you would like us to feature. Thank you.